we have 4 examples in exile of different tribal temperaments. This is the first one. You have Joseph. The next story we're going to have is Moses. The next story that we get after that is going to be Daniel. The next story we get after that is going to be Mordecai. Each one of those guys is from a different tribe. Each one of them is a leader in exile, and the tribal temperament that we see clear back in Genesis shows up in how each one of those leaders deals with exile. So the first one is Joseph. Joseph is a bureaucrat. And what Joseph is really, really good at is, if you're in exile, he will make exile go well. He will make sure that you're well taken care of in exile. He will make sure that the country around you prospers while you're in exile, because you'll prosper too. He will make exile extremely comfortable. The next guy is Moses. He's a Levite. Levites are hotheads. So if you want to break out of exile, you don't want a Joseph in charge, you want a Levite in charge. And you see the difference in how this burial party goes. Because the burial party, first off, Joseph doesn't, for whatever reason, approach Pharaoh directly. He has somebody go to Pharaoh on his behest. Furthermore, when they go into exile, they go with an Egyptian honor guard, which I will assert is at least as much to make sure that they come back as anything. They leave their flocks and their herds and their little ones behind. And when Moses takes them out of exile, one of the emphatic things is, we are taking everything. We're taking our children, we're taking our flocks, we're taking our herds, and no, we don't need an escort, thank you. All of the stuff that happens on this funeral party, Moses explicitly scotches. And Moses is right in Pharaoh's face. God says, let my people go. Oh, you aren't going to let us go? Water into blood. Still not going to let us go? Frogs. Still not going to let us go? And we'll just keep ratcheting this up, Pharaoh, until you let us go. And Moses does not flinch in front of Pharaoh. Whereas, at least in the story, Joseph does not confront Pharaoh of, I need to go bury my dad. He has an intermediary go do it, and he agrees to all of these conditions that Moses absolutely rejected. So the next guy is Daniel. Daniel is from what tribe? Judah. And Daniel is also a bureaucrat. And Daniel is a couple of things. He's starchier than Joseph is, because there's a couple of incidents where Nebuchadnezzar's staff takes a run at him, and he just flat cuts them off. There you have the incident with the lion's den, where they took a run at him, and when he comes out the far side of the lion's den, every one of those guys is sanded off flat, and their homes are turned into dung heap and a bunch of other things. So he is also a capable administrator. He is capable of running the empire, and in fact he rises to the second position in Nebuchadnezzar's empire, just like Joseph does. And, oh, by the way, he does not preside over return. And then the last guy is Mordecai. And Mordecai is from what tribe? Benjamin. And what does the blessing say about Benjamin in today's Torah portion? A ravenous wolf. Mordecai is lethal. Because when Haman and the boys take a run at Mordecai, Mordecai sets things up so that not only is Haman himself and his family destroyed, but every anti-Semite in the whole Persian Empire is drawn out and slaughtered. And there is no more problem with anti-Semitism in the Persian Empire for the next several hundred years because of Mordecai. So the temperaments, if you will, of the tribes carry forward from these blessings that we have in Genesis. And you see those things play out when members of those tribes are leading the nation of Israel in exile. So, if you're in exile and you're going to be there for a while, you want Judah or Joseph to be in charge, because they will make things run really well. and your exile will go as smoothly as exile possibly can. If you're in danger of being annihilated in exile, you want Benjamin in charge. Because that sucker's lethal. He will, in fact, go after your enemies and take them out. If you need to bust out of exile, you need to get out of there and come back to Israel, you want Levi. Because Levi will do whatever it takes to get you out of there.